Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our Rich Reflections, where we're going to take about 30 to 50 minutes or so out of our day to simply just think more intentionally with our own life. And through this, we'll be able to kind of recenter, clarify, so that moving forward, we can be more precise in our actions moving forward in the direction we want to be headed. So, with that being said, we'll start this Rich Reflections with 5 minutes of breathing. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and simply all we're going to do is just sit here and breathe. Don't overthink it. Okay, I set a timer for 5 minutes. All right. So what we want to do is kind of sit up straight, our back against a chair if that's what we're doing. Otherwise, try to have an erect spine. Kind of like your spine is on a string and someone's pulling it up. That's kind of what you want to do. And with breathing, we just want to breathe in and breathe out. Focus on the breath. If thoughts come to mind, simply just let them pass. They're not important right now. If it helps, count 1, 1, in, out. Oh, so quick. So quick, I have tears in my eyes. All right, so we're back. And now take out your notebook or, be consciously thinking, or maybe you're typing it on a computer or your phone. As long as you're just present and here and really putting effort towards it, you're the one that's going to benefit from it. And we'll start this session, this reflection with what are we grateful for? Number one question, as always. Yeah, what are we grateful for? Gratitude and patience. Start there. Breathe. Breathe, gratitude, and patience. Gratitude. It's so helpful in resetting and recentering our frame of mind. It refocuses on the world and outside of ourselves rather than like in our head. And not realizing that we're a part of something greater. I was hearing this bird outside. Very rare. I'm recording this at night. At night, I've been hearing owls hoo. I've yet to see an owl. But I hear them all the time. Although I took a walk in the woods a couple days this week. The moon is like gorgeous right now. And I'm taking a walk through the woods, and it's like a street light. And the trees have shadows, and I did see two big mysterious birds that I did not identify. So maybe that could have been an owl. But so grateful for the moonlight right now. Living out in the countryside, nature is just a lot more present with me, or I'm much more aware of nature and all, just like these little things. Like I saw a possum today. It's slightly warmer out than the previous day. I noticed that's when the possum come out. One night it was a little warmer and I saw 4. Then we have these wildcats that are around, and they're so funny. They're so funny. So what's something about nature that we're grateful for? Something small like that. Yeah, we've been in discussions about some music, some background music for these rich reflections. I don't want it to be like this cheesy meditation kind of music, where you like, you know. I don't know if that's quite what this is. I want this to be a little bit more lively. I was listening to some French classical music today. Quite beautiful. But I'm thinking about my friend Jonathan Hanau. And he plays piano. He's a composer, pianist. Talented dude. I've recorded with him before. I don't know, something festive though. Something like vibey, upbeat, but yet relaxing at the same time, if that's possible. I think I might have asked this recently, but what kind of music, and be specific. Oh my gosh, I think this was like last week I asked this. What kind of, yeah. Question number 4. What music do we listen to relax and create a calming environment? So I haven't resolved this in the past week. I'm trying something out with Spotify. Looking to create an artist account and then break up the podcast and what I'm doing and release it more in like bites, and be creative with the files rather than like what people now visualize when they see podcast. So what's something we see that others don't? In terms of like innovation in things that we're doing. What's something innovative we're doing in our field or life? What's something innovative we're doing in our field or life? We don't want to just copy what's going on around us, what everyone else is doing. If everybody else is doing something, that's not where the solutions are going to come from to solve problems. I think about infrastructure and having good infrastructure is important to a degree, but then it lacks the ability to be outside of itself. And I see that with culture right now. It's growing more and more cookie cutter, which is ironic because at the same time, everything is growing more niche. and more individualized. So while our experiences are becoming more and more catered to us and our interests, we're collectively becoming numb and muted and bland and average. And I think that's an interesting thing to think about right now. It seems like in culture, there just has to be like a general consensus of things and what you should think about it or what you should feel about it. And then if you have a different perspective, different thought about it, then it takes people aback. And people are unprepared. They don't have a script for that. Because a lot of times people are just interacting with people who confirm their way of life or perspective and view. And I think we should explore that more. Our lives have become more and more about us, but not about us. Bought some flowers today, but then I couldn't find a vase. Don't know where it went. There's other vases, but not the one that I wanted to use. What's been a frustrating thing lately that we couldn't find? How did we go about it? Did we let it bother us? Or did we kind of take steps in our mind to figure out where could it be and be even keel about it? And then if we don't find it, accept it. Remember this one toy? I had this Power Ranger toy. I had this black Power Ranger toy. Or was it red? I think it was black, because black was, they were based off of dinosaurs, I believe, the Power Rangers. And the black, well, this isn't a dinosaur, but I think it was a woolly mammoth. And it was this like helmet, and a motorcycle would come out of it. And I couldn't find it. And of all the toys ever, that frustrated me the most. So let's think about our childhood. Was there a toy that we especially loved and its absence causes us pain and trauma? That's dramatic. But, we're just sad that we never found that toy again. Talking with some parents, they'll purposely hide a toy from their kids so that when they reintroduce it, they'll be happy again, and it's like getting a new toy. I never quite found that. I was always jealous of friends. They all like could buy the newest toys, or they had the newest toys, and it wasn't like that with us. Our family. I remember Goosebump books, Power Rangers, and video games. Um, I think about toys right now. Well, I don't have children right now. I think back to the time of like the 1910s, and you had like one doll, or like a wooden horse, and those were your toys. Now everything's just so cheaply made, but expensive at the same time. And then if some technology is out, then it's replaced in a very short amount of time, like 2 years or so. What's our favorite piece of technology? What's our favorite digital technology device right now? Mine's the iPhone 13 mini. Been a favorite for quite a while. I have 4 of them. And I don't plan on replacing them anytime soon. I don't get the draw of these big phones. You know, the iPhone 16 Pro, and then the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and why? I could see if you're older and your eyesight is bad. I could see that. But I don't know. Where do people put their big phones? Like, I'm not a big person. I'm not a large human being. So I definitely prefer the minis. Plus, I use it more as I view it as like a TV remote for my life. And it just like helps me get from A to B of things that I've decided. I don't watch things on my phone. Although I did just now. I watched YouTube, and I like watch NFL news or sports news, but primarily NFL. NFL is like a quite a great drama. While I was eating my dinner of chicken breast and rice. But iPhone 13 mini, I probably won't upgrade them until there's a new iPhone mini. They don't make them anymore, but they will eventually. They should make one even smaller. I wonder if there's going to be a trend, maybe not the near future, maybe like 5 years from now, where they start making technological devices that are more analog. and they're just kind of rudimentary. They do the basic things, but they're there to serve a market of people who don't need all that excess of gadgets and gizmos and apps and accessories. Like, we just need something simple. Think about that with cars too. And they make them just so complex today with the electronics on it. Like, I would probably just need a Bluetooth connection. And that's it. Maybe just an aux cord. Maybe like a tape cassette. You plug it in. That's what I used to have. 1991 Mercury Sable, light blue. It had a bumper sticker that said, "Children are like flowers. You can never have too many." There can never be too many. If you had a bumper sticker, what would it say? Not one that exists necessarily, but like, if you were to design a bumper sticker for the world to see, what would it say? I had a really great day today. Some of my projects, I'm ahead. With one of them, we made a collaborative decision to move it a little bit forward to give us more time. And I understand that because we're developing a process right now. And this is the first project in this process that we intend to replicate. So the other projects I'm on track or ahead on. So this morning I didn't have much to work on creatively. I can always find something, but like, then it gets to be like this morning was like, I didn't have to use a lot of brain power this morning, like cognitive brain power. It was between like copying some lines into a Google Doc from a book or saving artwork with photos that I've taken for London photos. And I just started working on the London photos, and it brought me back, and I was playing music in the background. Usually I don't have like upbeat or music with lyrics or vocals when I'm like working creatively in the morning, because it's very like intentional and focused. And I need to use my brain a little bit more. And this one was just vibing. I was just vibing. And I got these London photos done, and I'm creating a London book for April. And there's so many good photos, and I'm brought back to the time that I was there. And then London is where the novel ends, The Gate of Clouds, which is going to come out June 27th. And my editors give it back to me tomorrow. We did the first round of editing. It's due tomorrow. So either while I feel great today, I might be like knocked down completely tomorrow, or might get brought up, raised up again, or keep on floating. But I have the next week or so kind of open still, kind of like today, where it's not too strenuous, because I'm not going to start writing the next novel, I think, till I'm in Mexico City. I think that's when I started. And it's marinating right now, and I have a very general framework and like skeleton of it. And a little more clear at the beginning, based on just like what happened in the previous novel, and it's kind of like recircling back. What's an experience or recent memories? What's an experience you've been thinking about lately? And not even thinking about it lately. What's an experience in your life that is special and you look back with gratitude on? I had an author event last weekend, and I was talking to some people there, and this trip that I took in 2018 came up because I was asked if I'd gone to like Asia before, and specifically like Southeast Asia. And said, yeah, in 2018, some friends and I visited Hong Kong, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, Bangkok, and Phuket, and Halong Bay on this trip. And the trip was 10 days. We took 9 flights in 10 days. And it's the complete opposite of like how I travel now. When I travel now, I will travel to a city and I just post up for like a week and just kind of chill and do my thing. Make myself at home. And I'm not rushed at all. And that trip, and then someone said that's something a young person does. 9 flights in 10 days. Like, I never looked at it that way until she brought it up. Like, there's kind of this, it was like a moment of separation of like, am I not that young person anymore? Like, could I still do that again? I think so. I think of it as like a I have friends that are musicians and that are in bands, successful acts, and they'll do that. They'll do a different city each night. Maybe like a night off here and there because they have to travel to these places, but honestly, I would crave that. Like, I crave that. I want that again. I want to go on a tour of my own, a book tour or author tour on college campuses. So if you're someone who is in college or has connections at colleges, I would love to come and speak, put on a workshop, kind of like this, of self-development and help people better navigate the complexity of our ever-changing, accelerated world that we live in. Help people find peace of mind, reduce suffering, and and sell books. What's something you want to do coming up? Something you would love to do? What's something we'd love to do in life right now? Yeah, I'm energized. Miami Magic and Milwaukee Sensibility books coming out at the end of the month. And it'll be 6 books in 3 months that I will have released. And I don't view it, it just is what it is. I was talking with someone today about preciousness and how, like, I don't really view anything as precious. If something is precious, then you have something to lose. Or if everything is precious, if you view everything as precious, then nothing is precious. And the same thing with perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. So if you put all this effort into trying to get something perfect, well, the idea of perfection is coming from your own perspective. But someone else might have a complete opposite idea of perfection. Not even opposite, just a variance of perfection. And another person, a different idea. So then you're absorbed more in your head about this particular idea about perfection. And I think that can be valuable at times, artistically, certainly, or really anything, but like to dwell on it and let it eat you and prevent you from being done and moving on. And when you move on, then you expand your horizons more. Then you explore more and you're growing. There's growth there instead of being stagnant and stopping. So what's something you've realized about yourself recently that not necessarily something you're proud of or making a judgment, but just something about yourself that you're more aware of? Now, I read Stoicism philosophy every morning. And I think lately that's kind of surfaced as far as I see how the influence of Stoic philosophy on myself as someone who practices it, how it's a very clear example of its implementation in my own life and my work. Where when I release a book, I move on. I get one day to celebrate, and then I move on. And I don't look back. I just keep moving forward. Whereas I think a lot of authors kind of dwell and view their work as precious, or their book as precious, and they don't move forward as quickly. So they're not going to grow. They're not going to expand. They're not going to put out as many books. To each their own. But that's how, like, the small things we do affects the larger things we do, or our life as a whole. You know, everything kind of bleeds in and influences every action and decision. Yeah, today a good day. Never really down at any point. Every now and then, you know, like during the day, just have some moments. Today was great. I was talking with somebody about Celsius, the energy drink. I noticed that people all have their favorite energy drinks, whether it's Celsius, Alani, Red Bull, Monster. People have coffee. I lean towards coffee. It's definitely healthier. Celsius, every now I told this person who says they drink 1 Celsius a day that, you know, lately I've been drinking Celsius. I've been drinking like 1 a week. And he laughed. There's something in there, the Celsius. They brand themselves as the healthy, fit drink, energy drink. And their labeling and their packaging is like physical fitness and when I drink coffee, like I'm up for a while and then like it kind of fades. Drink a Celsius, my eyes, like I can feel my eyes like wide open and it will last a long time. Yeah. My body feels like sick. What did you put inside me? I don't know. Didn't even look at the ingredients. But there's some stuff in there. Definitely. Anyways. Sorry. Let's start closing this out. What's something we're curious about recently? There's this one, C4. I remember, I didn't know it was an energy drink or that they had that product. I remember taking C4 as a pre-workout like 12 years ago. And before I even mention this, if I ask somebody about C4, they'll say, yeah, and then your arms are like tingling. Your veins are like tingling. And that's what I experienced too. I would take it and then like my arms would be like moving, like be like a sensation vibrating through my arms. That's wild. The things the human body can can take on, it can't be like that in other countries as much. Americans, like, you put a product to market, the FDA regulates properly that, you know, if you take this once or a couple times, will it kill you? Yes or no? And then, like, if it's no, then it probably goes to market. And then the consumers decide on how they want to interact with the product and use the product. And so in America, we have such a vast diversity of products on the market that consumers can test and decide for themselves if they like something or not, or want it or not. And Americans, you know, we want to be productive, and so everybody has their kind of fix. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess something that I'm curious about recently is beverages, energy drinks in particular. Okay, last question for today's Rich Reflections. What's something we're energized for in the next week? It's always good to have something to look forward to. I'm starting to get into vacay mode. Going to Mexico City in like 2 weeks or so. Is that 2 weeks? Yeah. 2 weeks. 80s and sunny. Oh, and just the plants. I'm so looking forward to the flora. Oh, it's going to be magnificent. Yeah, and I'm already starting to like get in vacay mode. I got some things coming up that will be a great send-off. I'm going to be publishing 2 books. I'll be in Chicago. Then I'll be recording a music show in Milwaukee. And then going back to Chicago, and then flying to Mexico City. Yeah. I'm probably working on edits of The Gate of Clouds, the novel. So it's going to be a packed 2 weeks, but an amazing... Life is great. I'm really grateful for everything right now and the people in my life, and this journey is about to get very interesting and very fun very quickly. So, thanks for being here this week. Again, these small things that we do, they add up, they accumulate, and you get to a point where everything in life gets easier. by default because you've developed a framework and a system to process every bit of information that's around you and the things that happen. You're able to react in the appropriate manner that you've designed. And it is fantastical. And you won't get there, though, if you don't do these small, maybe at times tedious things, and do them every single day. But I can assure you, they add up. And the moments that you realize that they've added up are some of the most phenomenal moments of life. So thank you for being here. Inspire the future.